right. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the morning tea today. I apologize for anyone who tried to join in the live stream. We're having some technical difficulties. So we're doing a recording. We're going to post it a little later. Today I have with me Joyanne Hutt, who is an astrology expert, an intuitive. Joyanne does tarot and soul and twin flame readings and all kinds of amazing things. I met Joyanne actually at a women's meditation circle, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I'm thinking. And yeah, we've just sort of stayed connected ever since. So I'm excited to have Joyanne here. Welcome.
Thank you for letting me join the tea time.
Absolutely. So Joy, what do you have in your cup today?
I have, as I stretch to get it, this is my mum cup.
Oh.
Golden milk is what I started today with. It's not what I usually start my day with. I usually like having a cup of coffee in the morning. I still enjoy, but I thought I'd introduce, and my tummy kind of was happy with golden milk.
Perfect.
For our immunity.
Yes, yes. I'm also drinking for my immunity this morning. I have got, again, the chaga chai from Hollow Reed Tea and Sweets. These guys are out of Castlegar. So once again, I'll post the link for this in the comments. So awesome. Joy, what are you feeling grateful for today?
Clarity. I am grateful for very much the amazing adventure I've had in deepening soul awareness and guidance, and that journey of uncertainty being intensified for me 4 to 5 years ago, probably about the time we met. It was intensified at that time. I have so much gratitude the past few weeks because it feels like I had that initiation of living in uncertainty and understanding of guidance and prioritizing that to have a sense of ease, so much ease for this period.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. I agree. I think that I've created all of these tools that I have in my belt now, you know, over the last number of years that I've been able to tap into and really sort of maintain a state of well-being in the midst of everything else. So, yeah. This morning, I'm feeling really grateful for my partner. We actually did an exercise last night, I guess, of connection, which was really beautiful. I follow this lady on online named Layla Martin, and she does a lot of sort of relationship connection, that sort of thing. So she's doing a 3 couples retreat right now. And so we did some of that work and it was really beautiful. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for this cat over my shoulder as well. All right, so Joy, when I asked Joy what she would like to talk about today, she told me a few things and I kind of went, I don't really know what you're talking about, Joy, but let's do it because I am so eager to learn more. As I said before, Joy is an expert in astrology, and when I talk to Joy, I swear she talks in like moon language, and it's so beautiful, and I love learning from her about sort of what's going on in the cosmos and how that relates to not only our personal well-being and state of mind, and but as a community, and yeah. So I'm gonna let Joy sort of launch in a little bit into what she wants to talk about, and then we'll just let the conversation go from there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've kind of been like having this conversation with you all week.
I love it.
And like all the things that kind of came to mind of great topics that's current.
Yeah.
And of course, I was being ever so present by having a conversation with you. So I've been chatting with your soul, Anne, a lot.
You know,
I hope you had fun with that.
absolutely. That explains all the weird dreams I've been having lately. Hey.
I don't think I could take all the credit for that, I wouldn't presume to. But I would say I definitely came up to realizing talking about the ages within 20 minutes is going to be an interesting experience. So it's more like, let's just talk naturally about things. I, of course, always try and do the best of taking astrological language and interpreting it into something that's really common. And so if at any point in any conversation you're like, what is that? I'm very welcome to, thank you very much, please ask. And I'm happy to, reinterpret it, restructure it into, different words. That's really the strength of when I get to know my own chart, the gift of the personality I chose to be is language and making sure things are clear and bridging any kind of polarity through discussion and any form of communication. And I energetically connect to that on occasion. I very much hold a space, as I've shared with you, that we all are very capable of connecting. There's no need to send anything to anybody other than you can do it. You're good. We're all good. We all equally can connect to that guidance that is eternally intelligent. Thus, it's really stabilizing and provide so much ease during times that we have such high contrast of there's not a lot of certainty, right? There's so much uncertainty. And that is the great opportunity being presented. And the astrology isn't affecting us. It is the language that is sharing with us where we are in time. By it so heightened at the moment of the whole collective sharing an opportunity to know that inner guidance, because the calendar in the star says it's time for you to know your inner guidance really clearly right now. That's what that Pluto Saturn things really come through clear when I've had opportunity to chat with people and we look at their own star chart to see where Saturn and Pluto was doing their deep transmutational convergence in each person's chart can really get us to focus on where were you being asked with great intensity, and you are now currently. It's more like the lightning hit the tree, and now we're seeing the leaves fall off. We're feeling the leaving, like the things clearing off of that tree. And each one of us had that intense, intensity in our lives, and it'll be in particularly like that's what the chart assists in getting clarity on. It was in this factor of your life where you're getting asked, where were you looking outside of yourself for power and for validation that you're supposed to know deeply inside of yourself, which is really all aspects of our lives. So we have this great moment of having a lot of time with ourselves to cultivate that deeply.
So what's happening right now cosmically that is relevant to the global
world event?
And what do you sort of foresee the progression being for many people? That's a lot. So you can just sort of whatever spoke to you there.
But no, it's good. Because my practice with because I've been cultivating, studying astrology, the book stuff, right?
Yeah.
The head knowledge over the past 2 to 3 years, which is the time that Saturn goes through zodiac. So while Saturn was in Capricorn, which is do your work, of how you show up in the world. So I've done the book learning, but I've integrated it with intuitive guidance. It's not the book telling me how it's supposed to be. And that wasn't what astrology was meant to be for myself. What it was I have practiced knowing that inner guidance and intuitive guidance, and the astrology has supplemented it. And observing what's going on cosmically helps me go, oh, I see why I was guided that today was a good day to do this or this. So
Right.
intuitively, what's coming up to pay attention to at this time is Venus.
Mm-hmm.
And because she's just touched into Gemini and she's going to be retrograding. So she's going to be hanging out there in quite a while. And such a big part of what we've been launching into is a reevaluation of our values, right? What we value, what's essential.
Mm.
And Venus that's the predominant part of her archetype, is what we value. But the other thing that I've found interesting that I don't hear in a lot of astrology discussions, but I found intriguing, is Venus is also about cleanliness. And so when she was in Taurus, Taurus is usually about our stuff, our belongings, physical, it's come into form. We own it. We like our stuff. What's our favorite stuff too with Taurus? So when Venus was there, we were cleaning our stuff. We were cleaning our homes. We were washing our hands. And now as she just touched into Gemini, we were seeing more and more in our groups, I have anyways, you may have, we're cleaning up how we think, how we speak, right? What do we value in these things? We can only afford so much energy of where we're putting our energy needs to be what we value. Hey, we can't waste any more time with fear and suspicion. We're feeling deeply that, okay, what's inside of us is showing up outside of us. And Venus is kind of walking hand in hand with our intuition of, let's clean up our thoughts. Let's clean up our speech.
I love that.
And she's going to dance back and forth over the next month or so on that one.
Yeah, I think that I see that in my relationships too, and probably a lot of people is like having to be more conscious in the way that we're speaking to each other. And because when you're, sort of in a home with somebody in a new way where you're together 24/7, where, people have been laid off who are used to being at work, or they're working from home, and they're now sort of always in each other's space in a way that didn't previously, exist in their household. And so it's this growing consciousness even in the way that we're interacting with one another, and trying to be more mindful, to avoid getting to that point of like tension and resentment and all of the negative energy that can come from being in each other's space too much, right?
Well, that's also kind of the beliefs that we've had around when we are in a solitary space with our family, that it's going to create resentment instead of celebration. And that's just the words that are being said about it. So if your belief is now, wow, this is celebratory because this is what I value. These are these beautiful moments with these people, these moments each time to spend and nurture one another. And we can still have our own sacred space within a small area. I've done that for years here with, you still have your meditative space. The kids still have their moments where they like to go off to their own rooms and do their own thing. So we're not right up in each other's face all day long. And it's just that, like, what beliefs do you want to put into, voice,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
it's like being more mindful about that and intentional. I think intention is the word that I'm looking for, right?
Being very responsible of taking a moment of enjoying checking in. When I said that out loud, I know I don't have to retract it. If I'm like, wait, that didn't feel right. I don't have to be like cancel and all that nonsense that's been kind of one of the practices. It's simply now, how can I revisit what I just said that didn't feel right? This is basically what I've been cultivating, because I'm like, I would like to do more affirmations than saying what I don't like, right? Obviously, this is how we've been playing with the universe a bit. Like, when I say what I don't like, it just creates what I don't like. So how do I make that statement that just went out there? Fine, whatever. How can I restructure it as an affirmation? How can I revisit it and say, that's fine. Maybe I just gave voice to something that wasn't mine, and it gave me clarity to go, that's not mine.
Right.
And I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to create what's mine.
Yes. Yes. I so enjoy sitting with the awareness that we really do create our reality, and we create the environment that we exist in such a, you know, miraculous way. It really, I mean, it really, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Like, individually and as a society, how did we attract this to ourselves in this moment? What is it inside of me? Instead of blaming the external experience, what inside of me attracted that?
Yeah.
And I have truly enjoyed chatting with the universe. I've practiced this. It's my own experience, and it's been soothing for the past 4 or 5 years. It's been deepened, and I cherish it to be able to say to the universe, however, whether you have guides or whatever comes to you that feels right, to chat with that eternal intelligence and say, I'm not quite understanding why I attracted this. It's kind of frustrating, actually. Can you give me some insight, please? Please help me do this, a little more gentler. I've definitely requested that a lot over the years. Can I do this any gentler? Soften these corners a smidge. That it doesn't have to be blam. Guess what? So, and I've been amazed. That's where I now cherish the solitude, because that's when you can just sit and be able to ask those questions, and the answers that come back are amazing.
Right.
And empowering.
Absolutely. So, Joy, is there anything specific that you would like to share with people who are watching in regards to what you're personally offering or doing, whether it be for yourself or for others, or something that you want to share about something you're accessing?
Well, I love it to be in part of my introductions of being available to have these chats, equitable chats about where you're at. If you're curious about astrology, if you have a beginner interest or even in-depth and you just want to chat more about your own chart, I love doing an introduction to your own chart so you get you curious about your soul story. But then just to share with the community some wonderful resources I've had of just getting in knowing the rhythm of the planets for our sense of calendar or time where we are, that I started with. And it was a great asset to my business, actually, to go back from yin and yang energy activity as the only person who ran my business of design and then building stuff. I used it for the first year of that, and it was wonderful. So it was lunarabundance.com. I would highly recommend, because She has the lady who's designed the work on there has just gorgeous PDFs for tracking moon cycles and journaling and just getting a sense of going back and forth, quite simply just the yin and yang energy of the moon. And like I say, I found it quite beneficial in an entrepreneurial application and personal life. And then for just if you want to incorporate in a daily, getting in tune with the moon is really one of the best, putting your toes in, of feeling what's going on for yourself and how it's interacting with you, is Om Journal. It's om-journal.com. Each day will give you where the moon's at, which zodiac signs it, which has really been amusing for myself when I started practicing that. And I worked in a print shop then. And each day, different clients would come in that was very, very correlated with the zodiac that the moon was in. So it's really quite a fun game of seeing where the moon's at and being like, well, that's interesting that all this stuff around that very much matches the zodiac that the moon's in each day, how we each experience that.
Beautiful. Thank you for those. And so, and how can people get in touch with you if they want to get their chart done, if they want to have, tarot reading with you, they want to talk Twin Flame, they want to, tap into your, yeah, go ahead.
Just have a tea time.
Yes, just have a tea time.
Really at this time, because if we were in person, that's the service I would offer with the tea chart, is I make an amazing chai tea, whether it be plant-based or dairy, but we're going to have to do it virtually at this time, so maybe I'll have to share the chai recipe.
That's right.
But yeah, at this time, or my Instagram page will do. I hope that'll be sufficient, of course. Again, another wonderful thing is having time for me to complete putting the finishing work on my website. So that will be part of this year's fun activities for myself, but please feel free to still contact me through Instagram.
Awesome. So I will post that as a link underneath the video as well, how to reach you. And the last question, is there, I've been asking everybody for either a practice or an activity, whether it be personal or something you've done with your family, something that's, maybe fun or, deepening your relationships with yourself or others, just a great idea for an activity that we can use during this time.
Yeah. Whoops, I did the grand reveal on that already with the moon cycle stuff.
That's perfect.
And it's not so much, sometimes it's been interpreted that during a moon cycle of like the new moon is when you're seeding something, and it's almost like Santa Claus, and you go there with your list and you ask the moon for it. And then full moons is usually clearing and releasing and cleaning house kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I incorporate moon and understanding moon cycles of the universe, which is you, is seeding something for you already. It's already been intended. It's all right. It's lovely if part of your practice is you're receiving and being in a meditative place to receive and journal understanding what's being, seeded for you already. And then incorporating the astrology again is where you can see, depending which house, it's called house systems, when you see a chart and it's kind of like a pie. Each little slice is a different kind of compartmental part of our lives, whether it be you or your assets or your home or your family or your community. When you see where the moon is landing within that part of your personal chart, you can get a sense of the universe is planting seeds for you in this part of your life,
right?
Or doing a little house cleaning for you.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joyanne. We're going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you being here and chatting with us. I know that Joyanne had mentioned maybe coming back again to talk more about twin flame relationships, soulmate relationships. So I'll look forward to that. down the line. And yeah, I just want to really thank you for being here, Joyanne.
Thank you for the lovely tea time, Anne.
All right, everybody. Don't forget to tune in Monday when I have Elise Braithwaite coming on. She is an SRT master. So I'm really excited to share more about that with you. And yeah, we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Toodaloo.